How can you and I be sure that we're building our lives on a foundation that is going to stand firm through the pressures and problems of life? Jesus addresses this in Matthew chapter 7 through a parable about two guys. One he calls a foolish man, and the other one he calls a wise man. And I want to look at why Jesus calls one foolish and why he calls one wise, because when you look on the outside, they actually pretty much look like the same guy. Both of them have a dream to build a house. Both of them have planning and preparation that they have to put forward in order to build this future dream for themselves. They're working hard, they're being diligent, they're giving their best effort and their best work. And in the end, they accomplish their dream. They built their house. But one foundation was secure, and that man's effort was not going to go to waste. Whereas the other man, his foundation was not secure, and under the pressures of life, his house collapsed. It was doomed for failure from the beginning. It didn't matter how beautiful his house was, how diligent he was, how much skill or effort he put into it, it was still doomed for failure. So how can we be sure that we're building on the right foundation? That all of the dreams in our hearts, that the effort we're putting into building those things aren't going to go to waste? Well, Jesus gives two very clear directives. The first thing that he says is listen to my words. You notice Jesus doesn't say follow your heart or listen to your culture or listen to the advice of those around you, but he says listen to my words. Build your life on the foundation of the principles that I give. And number two is obey. We have to do those things together. We need to listen and obey. And when we do that, no matter the storms we face, no matter how heavy the wind or the waves, our future is secure. Our effort will not be wasted. You know, the foolish person in this parable wasn't foolish because he didn't have a dream, or he didn't have diligence, or he was ignorant about how to build a house. He was foolish because he built on the wrong foundation. He didn't even recognize that the effort that he was putting into his future was going to collapse because the foundation would not stand. The way that God operates is what causes our foundation to be secure, and we can only operate in God's way when we operate in obedience. The Word of God is full of instruction for life, right? It's full of instruction about money, about our relationships, about work, about diligence, about how we spend our time, about what we're supposed to focus on. And all that instruction is there for our benefits. It's to secure a bright future for us. And when we ignore the principles of wisdom in the Word of God, we are guaranteeing our own destruction. So it doesn't matter how much effort you put in, how big your dream is, how great your goal is, how diligent you are. If you do not listen and obey, it doesn't matter how big your dream is for a happy future, you are not going to succeed because you're not building on the right foundation. So what I want to encourage us today is, if we want to build on the right foundation, a foundation that's going to last through the storms of life, we need to choose to hear the Word of God and then obey.